What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Yegi Project. This week's updates for you. So as you know, or if you've been following along, my recent project for myself for personal and business development has been the meditation journey. So I learned you don't just meditate or not meditate. First, you need to learn more about meditation. And second, it's a practice. You need to keep practicing to find which form or which way of meditation that works for you. It's not like, hey, meditation, I think recently, actually, the last book I'm reading or last person I'm listening to for my kind of research for meditation is the 6-phase meditation method. So his name's Vishon, and a lot of you probably heard of him, but I'll link all of that below if you haven't. And the way he compares meditation to the modern kind of average person that we can understand it is, initially we put meditation in just one category. It's just meditation. Kind of like how we would say, hey, it's just exercise, right? But exercise, there's so many forms, like even dancing is form of exercise, yoga, boxing, martial arts, right? We can do all these different definitions, but they all fall under exercise. So meditation is the same thing. There's so many different kinds and types and beliefs and practices, and you just really have to find the one that works for you. And that's what I've learned, because for a very long time, I've kind of put that block that I can't meditate, I can't sit still, I can't be quiet, I can't stop my mind, it doesn't work, it's silly, right? All these excuses. But now that I'm learning more about it, I really think it has a lot of benefits. Actually, there's science that proves how much benefits meditation can have. I encourage you guys to find your form. But in one of the recent episodes, we talked about my 2 different experiences, from one going to a Isha Yoga Center and taking their inner engineering course to learn more about meditation. And then second one is reading How to Be Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza, that book, to learn more about it. But this is my third one. I like to give at least 3 different ways to myself before I kind of start forming ideas of what I like and don't like. So the third one was that book I mentioned, the 6-phase meditation method. And so far, I think a lot of people, even if you're closed off to meditation, but it could be good for you, it's very similar to, I want to say the word of affirmation, gratitude, manifestation. Like those are words that people like better than meditation. So it takes that approach, and it's super modern, super easy, super friendly for everybody who doesn't have a lot of time. So I think you guys should check that one out if you want to have an easy place to start with meditation. A tool I found with that too, and this is no way sponsored, guys, I really like this stuff. So he has an app called Mind Valley, and there's a lot of resources in that app. And the 6-phase meditation, although it is a book, that's how I came across it. He has like a video and audio guided version of it. So if you want to do the minimal but learn a lot about it, you can start there. Another form of personal update for you guys. I am past my 6-month mark with being pregnant, slowly but surely coming to terms that I'm going to be a mother to a new baby again. But we're finally getting our routines and schedules nice and flowing with the 2 babies. So hopefully it won't be too crazy when the third one comes along. But it's been actually really fun to almost like clean house in my personal life. I've been looking at all the little things that have been bugging me for a while, like morning routines, evening routines, like bad habits or little things that I just needed to get done and I've just been procrastinating. Like, for example, we have this incomplete map of the US in our hallway in our house, and it literally has half the pictures of the US of the places we've been to, because back in 2019, we had done a US tour, and literally that thing has been halfway done up for, what are we, 23, 19, 20, like 4 years almost, right? It has been halfway done, hanging up there. So that's one other thing that I started working on again to complete it, and it's such a tiny thing, but it makes me feel so good not having these like little lingering, even though unimportant tasks, completing them. So that's been what's been going on. I'm excited to introduce you guys to this week's guest. Her name is Christina, and for a lot of our listeners who are in the beauty industry or in the creative world, they will love hearing what she has to say overall about her life as a mother, as an entrepreneur, as a philanthropist, as a makeup artist, but also a makeup line owner who's always looking to grow and dabble into different opportunities within the industry she loves. So I really liked kind of picking her brain about her day-to-day and how she kind of makes money or started making money in the industry that she loves. And what's special about her is that she dabbles in some editorial work. She works with celebrities. She writes about makeup. She doesn't only do the service. And I think it's really cool to kind of hear all those options for some of us who think, okay, if I love, for example, cars, I need to be a mechanic, right? We close off our options. But if you love cars, you don't only have to be a mechanic. You can work at a dealership. Maybe you can, I don't know, even work on the software for a car. There's so many different avenues to still being an industry you love. We also touch base on how important self-care is, how to get over a very tragic event, not to get over, but get past and still continue to grow and succeed, even if a very tragic event happens in your life, how to do things to lift yourself up. So I hope you guys enjoy. Let's get to it. Hi, I'm Yegi. I'm an entrepreneur and success coach who wants it all. Family, luxury, career, and the freedom to do whatever I want, whenever I want. And I'll do whatever it takes to get there. I created the Yegi Project to document my journey and inspire others to do the same. My mission is to change the world by influencing and leading others to do what they love and live fulfilled lives. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the Yegi Project. Today we are excited to welcome Christina Flach, a master makeup artist, a business owner, entrepreneur, an extraordinary human who gives back to her community for very specific causes. So let's get to know her and hear about her journey and how she got started in the beauty world.
Hi, thank you so much for having me today. How are you?
Good, good. Thank you so much for coming on our podcast. I'm so excited to get to know you. Please tell us a little bit about your journey, your story.
Thank you so much for having me today. I'm really excited to chat with you and get to know you. I just finished doing a segment for California Live NBC for the fall. We're doing pumpkin masks and scrubs and some spa beauty water and some beauty tonic with ginger and lemon and cayenne powder and cinnamon. So that was really fun.
Nice, nice, nice. So tell me a little bit about overall, who are you and what do you do for our listeners that don't know you too well?
Okay, well, I am a celebrity makeup artist. I am the creator and CEO of Pretty Girl Makeup, and I am starting a new company called I'm Too Busy, which is going to be skincare and makeup. I am a philanthropist. I am a mother of 5. I'm a beauty expert on NBC, California Live. Let's see, what else do I do? I think that's it.
Wow. So full circle of life and business and mom and everything all above. So that's very inspiring. How was it being a mom of 5?
It's great now that they're raised. No, it's great. I love my kids. I love being a mom. It's probably the thing I'm most proud of are my kids. They're really lovely, wonderful people, and they're all grown up, most of them. My youngest now is 17 and a junior in high school, and that one, Nikolai, is in college, and he's playing golf for Sonoma State. And Rose is a screenwriter that graduated from NYU, and she lives in Los Angeles. And Melania is a fashion designer, and she lives in San Diego.
I love it. And I love all their names.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
For anybody who wants to know, how did you get started in your line of work?
Well, I started working on Family and Friends, And then it kind of segued into doing weddings, and then photographers asked me to do photo shoots, and then I got enough work together to submit to be represented by agents. So I'm represented by Ford artists, New York, Miami, Chicago, LA, San Francisco. I'm with Zenobia, and I'm with Brandy Moore in San Francisco. So I have 3 agents, and I also work with a bunch of networks, Food Network, Fox, ABC, NBC. I do a lot of fashion. So I do all kinds of different things. I have celebrities that I work with, Tyler Florence, Sammy Hagar, Condoleezza Rice, Hilary Swank. I have a lot of different clients, and so I get to go do photo shoots with them, and I love what I do. It's so much fun.
Wow. Now, getting into the beauty industry, did you know you always wanted to do makeup, or did it start as a hobby and it just took off?
I think it was more of a hobby. I didn't think it was a job. I thought it was too much fun to be able to get paid, but that's kind of what I've told my children. I said, figure out what you love doing so much that you would do it for free, and then figure out how to get paid and get paid well.
Awesome advice. Working with celebrities, please tell us the good, the bad, and the ugly, because I know it's not super easy working with certain celebrities. It sounds great and glamorous, but I also know their expectations, and again, I'm saying very general, could be high demanding. Can you please tell us your experience with working with celebrities versus with regular clients? What are some pros and cons?
I actually think my celebrities are easier. They're all very professional. Wow. They're all happy. They know what they're doing. They're grateful for, what I do for them. And, it's not as glamorous as you think. Sometimes I've had instances where I have to wake up at midnight or 3 a.m. to do a photo shoot. And it's long hours, and you're on your feet, and, it's a lot of touching up and making sure everything's perfect. But most of my experience, I can't tell, anything terrible. I've only had one experience with one celebrity that was not the most pleasant, but I cannot say, or I'll never work in Hollywood again. But
but overall, very good, positive experience.
Super positive. Yes.
There's also that stereotype that it's hard to work with celebrities, and they don't pay. They expect you to do things for free.
No, my celebrities aren't like that, and most of the time it's networks or production people that have hired me, so they're more than happy to pay me, and they know I do a good job, and it's fun when you get to work with people over and over again. I've had Tyler Florence for 17 years as my client, and so actually on Saturday we have a photo shoot up in Sacramento. So we've done TV together, we've done print, all kinds of things. So it's always fun. I love working with him. He always makes me laugh, and it's great when you get to work with people over and over. It's different
when you can get to build relationships with your clients, and it just feels like you're hanging out with them. You're not really going on a job.
Right. And it's fun. It's interesting. Yeah, it's always interesting. When I'm working for a network like Fox, and there's an interview, for example, with Governor Newsom and Hannity, it's pretty entertaining to be able to be sitting there, 2 feet away from them. And so it's a great job. I really do love it. And I love also being able to create my products, creating my skincare line and my makeup line. That's super fun too. I mean, it's a lot of time and money, but it's really satisfying and, gratifying career. And then, for example, as like today that I have my segment on NBC, I do that a couple times a month. That's super fun too. It's all very different. It's my friend Berlin that I'm on TV with. He taught me to be comfortable being uncomfortable, because being in front of the camera was certainly not something I was comfortable doing before. And so I've learned to be able to be myself on TV and feel comfortable.
So I know a lot of people actually don't feel comfortable in front of the camera. What is one thing that you learned, or one advice you would give people who want to create content or get in front of the camera but are afraid to? What would you tell them to encourage them to just get comfortable with being uncomfortable?
I think the first thing is make sure your lighting's good. Like right now I have lighting. There's a window hitting my face, and then I've got lights. But think about something that you're passionate about and that you're comfortable talking about. And then when you keep telling yourself like, okay, I know all this. This isn't like I'm, making things up or having to study it. I know it like off the top of my head. So I think it's much easier when you're speaking about something that you're familiar with and comfortable. And just it's practice, honestly. It's a little hard when I have to do live TV because it's pretty intense. And
No
it's like you make a mistake. There's no editing. There's no, one more second. So after we did the live, we shot another segment that wasn't live. And so that's always a lot easier to just, relax. It's just even mentally knowing that you can make a mistake. It takes the pressure off. And I think it keeps life interesting. I think it makes life interesting when you're doing different things. I don't just do one thing. I don't just do photo shoots. I also write for magazines. I write, beauty and wellness for different magazines and publications. Doing the segments, doing the, the brands. I mean, it's always something different. It just keeps life fresh.
Yeah, and I bet it also just expands your skill set too. And like you said, keeps it exciting to be able to dabble in many different platforms, but within what you love, within the beauty industry.
Yes.
What are the challenges of that and how did you expand? Because I know a lot of people want to be where you are today, right? It's very inspiring. They want to love their job. They want to be able to earn money doing what they love, but also dabble into all these different platforms or this have different avenues of earning money in the industry they like, or even maybe they don't know that it's an option. Hey, if you love beauty and makeup, you don't even have to do the makeup yourself. You can write about it, for example. So what is some things that you can share from your life experience with our listeners that they can benefit from?
I think just being open to all the possibilities and not being closed. Like I didn't expect to be writing magazine articles. I didn't expect to be doing anything on TV. So I just am open to trying new things. And I never say no. Like when my agents call about a job, sometimes the pay isn't great, but I want to work with a Rita Moreno for People magazine. So I'll do it, whatever it is. In fact, I've done a lot of photo shoots for very little or no money at all because I got amazing content, but I wanted to work with a certain photographer or a stylist. You're constantly needing new images. So, sometimes I will do testing, which means a photographer and a stylist and a model will get together and we each do our thing. And then I've had magazine covers from that in industry magazines and stuff. So I just think being open to trying new things and not worrying about the money. The money will come.
Work from what it sounds like.
Never.
You don't know what opportunities or what doors it will open for you.
Right. And I think also working really hard. If people see that you arrive on time, you're not a pain in the ass, you do more than you're supposed to, they remember that. So I get hired back because people know that they're going to get someone that shows up on time, that works really hard and isn't complaining or difficult. So, I think it's really important. I always thank whoever hired me. Thank you for having me. They don't have to hire me. So I want them to know that I am very grateful. And, if you're doing it because you enjoy it, even if you're not getting paid, you're going to get some really cool images or it'll lead to working with someone another time. So it's all just, I think, being open. And I don't think about failure. To me, failure is not trying, not doing. I don't like saying trying. It gives you wiggle room to get out. I like set a goal and do it. So I think it's important to decide you want to do something, set a goal, and just march ahead.
Yes, take one little action at a time. That's what I always say. Just take action. Don't overthink about the grand goal, even just one little tiny action at a time.
Right.
Now, before I jumped right into your career and ask you so many questions because I want to pick your brain. So before we dive in more into detailed questions about your career, I always love asking some personal questions, some random questions, just to get to know you a little bit more. So here's a fun one. So, have you ever sent the wrong text to the wrong person?
Yes. One time I sent a text to one of my daughters about the other daughter. and it was not the right one. So my daughter said, Mom, I see this. And I'm like, oh my God, I like cringed. But yes, I have. And I really make an effort now not to do that.
What is one thing most people don't know about you?
That I'm pretty shy and I'm a homebody. I kind of a nerd. I like to read a lot, and I'm not as outgoing and out and about as much as people would assume.
Oh, interesting. What is your favorite book, since you said you like to read a lot?
Oh my gosh, I don't have a favorite, but right now I'm reading Lessons of Chemistry, which I'm enjoying so much. I don't have one favorite because every time I'm reading one, I'm like, oh, this is my favorite. So, but I'm reading the Lessons of Chemistry right now, and I'm enjoying it very much.
If you could change one thing in the world with a magic wand, what would it be? First thing that comes to mind.
World peace. Just everybody get along. God, love each other. Love and laugh. That's what I would change.
Yes. What has been your biggest challenge so far in life or with your career? And what did you do to overcome it?
Probably my son, Bo, and my husband, Ken Flach, passed away. So both of those incidents happening were very hard for me and my family. And so I had to find my new normal, and it was very hard. And I learned from my son passing away first that I had to really keep it together because it would affect my other children. So I exercised, I made sure I ate, I made sure I rested, I made sure that I was grateful for things and helped. I did more philanthropic work. So there's always people that have worse problems than we have, and it just made me feel better to help others.
Well, I'm so sorry to hear that, first of all. And honestly, it takes a really strong person, or it takes a lot of work on ourselves to get over something, not even over, to get through and try to still live a fulfilling life after an event like that. So, all my props to you for keep going. And I know our listeners can benefit from that story, from seeing that, even if tragic things happen to in our lives, we don't have to dwell on it forever and just let our lives fully go. Of course we'll have our moments, but it is possible to get up and get going and still have a fulfilling, happy life. So thank you so much for sharing that.
I don't think you're honoring your loved one by being miserable and angry at the world. I think that you can, like, for example, what I do is, I work with my charities, and I try to honor my husband and my son by raising money for underprivileged children to go to school. So that's just something
that's beautiful.
Yes.
That's beautiful. Thank you. All right. So talking about fulfilled lives. So this one it could be a very deep question, but it just first thing that comes to mind. So what does a happy and fulfilled life look for you?
Balance. I think it's good health, happiness, love, laughter, abundance. And it doesn't need to be things. It's just like having people that bring you joy and love into your life, and happiness, having purpose in the morning, waking up with something exciting to do. And, you're the only one that can make your life great. If you want to change your life, you're the only one that can change it. And, just taking steps to doing something different. There's no wrong move. Like, sometimes we go down one path and there's a bump. Well, that means either make another decision or go a different direction. But, there's no failures in life if you're just simply moving forward, not living in the past.
Yes, I like to add to that, like, the thing that has helped me with it is just knowing that everything is what it is. Like, literally, we cannot change the past, so why dwell on it? Why try to live in it, right? Or even carry it with us in the future. Same thing with the future. Why worry about the future? It hasn't happened yet. So many different things can happen. So why not just let's focus on the right now? And even if it's a horrible thing going on, every time I tell myself, okay, it is what it is. I cannot change that thing, but what can I do? What action can I take? And I think that's what you live by from what it sounds like. And I love that. I admire that. It's hard to get there. So
I think being grateful is really important. Having gratitude in your life, thinking about things you're grateful for, focusing, like I've had these tragedies in my life, but I've had so many miracles and blessings that I really try and focus on the things that I'm grateful for instead of the things that haven't been so fantastic.
Do you have a structured gratitude practice? Just curious since you mentioned that.
It's kind of I mean, it's consistent. I'll say that. I wake up in the morning and I say, "Good morning, Christina. I love you, and we're going to have a good day." And I think at the end of the day, I think of things that I'm grateful for and all the people I love, and just doing that consistently. I think that keeps me grounded and happy.
Great, yeah, and I think it's great doing that in the first thing in the morning because it just sets your whole day up for success instead of,
Yes.
oh, I'm so tired, I don't feel like getting out of bed. Oh, my alarm clock rang.
Right. I mean, if you're constantly your brain is so powerful that if you keep telling yourself all this negativity, that's what's going to happen. But if you wake up and I'm going to have a good day and think about things you're looking forward to. And, I think exercise and nutrition are very important. Having a healthy diet, having enough water, being hydrated and getting exercise and getting enough rest. Rest is so important. Yes. Sleep, we don't get enough of it. And it really does make a difference in everything.
Yes, I definitely agree on that one. I am a whole other person if I have not gotten enough sleep.
Right?
Now, I cannot imagine any day looking typical for you since you dabble in so many different things.
Yes.
But this question I like to ask everybody. But for you, instead of a typical day, I will ask you, what does, on average, a typical week look like with everything that is going on? So if somebody were to step in your shoes, what would a week with you feel like?
Even again, every week is different in my world. So some weeks I have a photo shoot. Some days I have, I tape at NBC. Some days I'm in my office doing podcasts or writing or working on, different emails for marketing. I definitely exercise every day, and I make sure that I have time to, have green juice and water and tea. I think at the end of the day, I try to just look back and, have some quiet time. I watch, TV, go out and have dinner, see friends. And then I travel a lot. So some days I'm traveling. So some days I'm running from one place and jumping on a plane and going to a shoot. So
yes, and I know in your stuff you've mentioned being beautiful inside out. What does that mean to you, being beautiful inside out?
Because I think beauty from the inside out, a lot of it is confidence and attitude, but what you put into your body. What are you eating? What are you drinking? Keeping hydrated, eating clean, not eating a bunch of sugar. And so for me, beauty from the inside out is really what you're putting into your body to make your skin look better, your eyes look better, your hair. Taking good care of yourself is so incredibly important. And you feel better, which means you're going to have better energy. You're going to have a better attitude. You're going to be better in every way if you just, are mindful of what you're eating and drinking and exercising and resting.
Awesome. I definitely have to agree on that. Self-care, really, we joke about it now. We say self-care, but it truly is a thing. I think everybody needs to spend at least a day on average, not the whole day, but if you were to take bits and pieces of your whole week, at least a full day on self-care. That's how important it is.
It is. It's not selfish. You can take better care of all the people in your life if you take good care of you. So, taking a little time to make sure that you exercise or have some downtime, you're going to have more energy to take care of all the people that, you need to take care of in your life.
Oh, totally. Yeah. For me too, I do a lot myself with entrepreneurship, parenting, and my kids are tiny, so they drain me. But I literally ignore everybody and everything on Mondays. Mondays is my me day, and I don't care if I get less done. I got over the mom guilt thing, and I just take care of everything I need to do. And literally, it helps me show up the rest of the week for everybody and everything. And I feel like I'm more present efficient with everybody and I'm happier and I could give more in less time, right? So it took me a long time to finally be like, I'm going to do this. It doesn't matter if less projects gets done. But surprisingly, when I took that whole day for myself, more things get done the rest of the day. So
it's true. Really, and you have that to look forward to.
Yeah.
But I think it's important every day to have a little bit of time, even if you can go for a walk for 20 minutes or go do a yoga class or a Pilates or, something. I think it needs to be every day. It doesn't need to be the whole day, but it needs to be, that's fantastic that you have that whole day, but try and fit in, half an hour.
A little bit each day.
A little bit each day so you have, because, you do need a little, when you have kids and they're little, it is so challenging and emotionally exhausting, physically exhausting. So give yourself a little break and take a little time.
All right, so let's talk about pretty girl makeup. So that's very exciting. I know you've had that for how long have you had pretty girl makeup for now?
Oh my gosh, since 1999, 100 years, very long time. I'm doing a new company now called I'm Too Busy Skincare and Makeup. And we are focused right now on lips for pretty girl. And I'm Too Busy. I want to have a line for women that is 3-step skincare for men and women because it's consistency. You need to take care of your skin every day. You need to hydrate, you need to moisturize, and you need to protect. And then with the makeup, I just find I have so many clients that tell me, I feel overwhelmed when I go shopping for makeup. They sell me products I don't use, I don't know how to use. And so I think it's hard to get brand loyalty when you're selling your clients, products that they are not going to use in their everyday life. They don't have time. And so also I want there to be, a concealer, a foundation. And so I have these foundation sticks coming out soon that you can use as a concealer, foundation, and primer on your face. And then fill in the brows, some shadows, liner, the cheek sticks. We are using a cheek stick. It's like a foundation and you can it's moisturizing at the same time to put on your cheeks. And then for lips, excuse my nose, I have a little itch. We're doing just some lip gloss, lipstick, and lip liner and just what you need and get out the door in under 10 minutes.
Oh, awesome. So that's the key with your brand, just keeping it simple.
Simple.
Bare minimal that somebody would need to take care of their skin and look the minimal parts to feel like dressed with their face to get out of the door.
Yes. I think people are going to, you're going into a meeting. You want to feel like the best version of you.
Of course.
And if you're distracted with, oh gosh, I've got dark circles under my eyes or my eyes look tired. Well, you want to feel your best. So you should look your best.
Wow, I love that so much. Honestly, my slogan has always been look good, feel good, be unstoppable. That was my slogan when I started my salon. And that's literally what it is. Unless we look good, we're not going to be able to feel good. And it doesn't have to be a standard beauty model, like typical old school
just
good. Just good how we feel, when we
especially
look
like
at ourselves.
You're right. And especially if you are in the beauty industry, if you work in a salon, why on earth is anyone going to come to you for a haircut and color or makeup if you look like a disheveled mess? We have to have we have to look somewhat presentable because we're illusionists. We're giving the illusion of looking, fresh and rested. Even sometimes we don't feel like it, but we have to.
And that's everybody, right? So that's the magic of makeup. That's everybody.
Yes.
Even if you don't feel your best inside, that little extra, even just a lipstick is going to make you feel better on the inside because visually you're loving, loving that little extra on your face.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about going from being a makeup artist and all the other things that you do along that line to becoming or having a product. It's two different worlds. I've done it, so I know the challenges with it, but it's two separate worlds with kind of managing yourself as your own kind of employee when you're a makeup artist and you do all these projects versus running a company with products and having to deal with running employees. Now, can you tell us a little bit about your experience, the hard work that goes into it, kind of your rough costs that you had to, startup costs that you had to invest to start even just a lipstick line in the beginning. Because again, I know a lot of people dream to have their own brand or their line, but realistically they don't know too much about it, so it may hold them back, or it may give them unexpected or unrealistic expectations when they actually do start. So please tell us a little bit about your experience from going to being a makeup artist to a product brand owner.
Well, it takes a lot more money and a lot more time. So I would just be really clear on what you're doing. I worked with a beauty chemist to create and formulate my I started with lip gloss and lip plumper. So it took over a year to get the formulation and then the colors, because I knew that I wasn't going to, I was self-funded at the time, and I knew I didn't have a ton of money to create a million colors. So I wanted them to look good. All my colors look good on everyone. So when you work with a beauty chemist, you formulate the texture and then you do the coloring, and then you have to get packaging. And so the cost is so much. You can do private label. Anyone could do that. And the minimums are significantly less. But if you want to formulate your own products, it's, the numbers are, you need to order 10,000 empty lip gloss containers. So it's a lot of money.
And be sure you can sell them.
Yes. And you think, it's, sometimes it's a blessing. Tyler Florence told me this once. If people knew how hard it was to be exceptional, no one would do a damn thing. And he's kind of right, because, if I had known, I would hope I would still have done everything I've done, but, you don't get handed a book. You just kind of go along, and it's changed so much. There's beauty. There's all these influencers now. Before it was beauty editors from magazines and stylists and publicists and celebrities, and that's all you dealt with. So you have to kind of be willing to go with all the different changes and, the bumps in the road. And I think also, if you love what you do, you won't mind putting money into something and time. Because if you go into it for that reason, that you enjoy it so much, you will succeed. It's not going to be overnight. It's going to take a lot more time and effort than you thought. But if you're going into it just to make a lot of money, you're going to fail, because it takes so much more effort than you think, and you're going to start resenting it and not enjoying it, and you will fail, because, you just really have to go in it because you love it and believe in your product.
Great. Now, what inspired you to to take that leap, to have your own product line? Because you knew it's a lot of work, it's a lot of time, but now you're expanding that business. What inspired you to get into that area of beauty business compared to just, doing only the creative side? I feel like having a product line has a lot of business side to it, and it might not be right for everybody, but what inspired you to go that route?
Well, I think what inspired me most, I was a mom driving, my kids everywhere, and constantly in a battle between my water bottle and my lip gloss. I couldn't find one that would stay on, or one that would stay on that wasn't matte and drying. So I just thought, I tried every one I could find, and I couldn't find one that I liked. So I thought, well, how hard can it be to create your own? And so that is really how I started. It really had nothing to do with, I think, and when I named it Pretty Girl, I was on vacation in Hawaii with some friends, and I had a friend that said, "Oh, we're being pretty girls. Look, our kids are all swimming in the pool and no one knows we're mommies for 5 seconds." And I thought that was really funny. So I thought, that's the perfect name. So that's how Pretty Girl came about.
Oh, I love that. How did you come up with your skincare line? How was that inspired?
Well, I'm too busy as skincare and makeup. And so I just thought a friend of mine owned the trademark for it. And he said to me, "Hey, I've got a name," because we were talking about starting a new brand. And he said, "I've got this great name and it's perfect for you. It's I'm Too Busy." Because I'm always too busy. I'm constantly, doing something, going somewhere. So I thought, that's so perfect with my life right now. And everyone is too busy. They're always, you talk to anyone, "How are you doing?" "Oh my gosh, I'm so busy." So if you can be looking like the best version of you and with minimal time and effort, I think that's a perfect name.
All right, so let's talk about makeup from your professional point of view for our listeners and also for the average Joe, right? So, what is some common makeup mistakes that you see people making that you just wish you would take away?
Oh my God, I love this question. So, when people that are very pale skinned and blonde wear liquid liner black during the day and way too heavy. I don't like these fake lashes, the lash extensions that look like a chia pet on your lash. I think they look absurd. Let's see, where else can we go? Those are probably my two ones that drive me the most crazy. You know, people, you know, being so rigid and uncomfortable, like doing their makeup every day the same, whether it's day or night, it's the same, and not be willing to try getting a little bit comfortable being uncomfortable, doing something a little less if they do it. We did a segment on NBC once. It was called the Beauty Challenge, and it was, if you wear a lot of makeup, tone it down like 5 notches, and if you don't wear a lot, tone it, you know, take it up a couple notches. And people are like so uncomfortable looking different.
Wow,
if they're used to their, oh my gosh, it's like an epidemic of people are so rigid and unwilling to try something different. So
what are, besides that advice, what are your favorite tips and tricks that you like to use for your clientele?
So I make sure that the face is really nice and moisturized underneath the eye and the eyelid. Concealer, I do it in layers and I do it thin. I don't want to put gobs of it on. So I'll put a couple different layers of under eye and then on the lid, because you want the lid, everyone's eye is discolored. And you want it to be kind of like a wall. When you're painting a wall, you want it like a primer. So I want it to be as evened out as possible. And I think, filling in brows, I think that's super important. Changing your mascara every 3 months. They don't get better, they dry out. So
great.
Those are little tips.
Now, for a little bit of story time, if you could share, what has been your favorite interaction with a celebrity when you're on a job?
Well, I was working with the guys from The Bachelor in Carmel and Ben Higgins. I do hand massage on my clients with aromatherapy oil, and Ben Higgins fell asleep in my chair once. That was kind of funny. I love, I did TV show with Tyler. We did his TV show on Food Network, The Great Food Truck Race, and so that was fun. We were all over LA and we got to go out to dinner together a lot, and people not knowing who he is and then figuring it out. That's kind of funny. Isaiah Washington, I did a show with him and we hung out and he was so nice. And I've had just such great experiences with clients. Maria Bartolomo, she's on Fox. We had a shoot in San Francisco, and then I was going to a party and I brought her with me, and I didn't really expect her to come, but she came and it was super fun and everyone loved her. And I've got a new client, Cameron Brink. She's a Stanford basketball player. She's 6'4" blonde. She's gorgeous. And she's like my new adopted daughter. I love her to pieces. So all kinds of good things going on.
I love it. So last question before I ask you your closing question. So I know you also do a lot of philanthropy work. You are involved in raising funds for a lot of different things. Can you please tell us a little bit about your projects and how that came about and what you want our listeners to know about them? So if anybody can also contribute and help to your cause, they can be part of it.
Oh, that's so nice. So I helped start at the Edna McGuire School in Mill Valley, California. I helped start the Bo Friedman Outdoor Classroom that was named after my son who passed away. It's outdoor, it's a garden and fruit orchard. And so it also has a kitchen. So the kids grow vegetables and fruits. They sell them at a farmer's market. They cook with it. They do science experiments. So that's one thing.
Oh, I love that so much. I
right?
wish every single school would have that.
I recently read
a book about the importance of all of that for kids nowadays, since most kids don't get that.
Yeah, it's so important. I mean, nutrition and education are super important to me. So I feel that if, they are exposed to it from a young age, that throughout their life that they will eat, they'll eat better. They'll make
Yeah, and
healthier
more
choices.
outside time too with all of
Yes.
that. They're getting more sunlight, they're being in nature.
Definitely.
It's so good for their souls.
Yes, it is good for their souls. On Monday, there is a Vita Blue celebrity golf tournament here in California. And my son, Ben, Bo's twin, plays golf in it every year to raise money for our educational funds at the Northern Light School. So last year he raised $60,000. He's raised over 120 since he's been doing it in the last 7 years. So we're going to raise money on Monday for that. Let's see, what else do we do? Oh, I work with the sepsis organization. My husband, Ken Flach, was a former #1 tennis player in the world. And he passed away 5 years ago from sepsis. And so ever since then, I have been raising awareness for sepsis and raising money for it. So
if you don't mind sharing, what is sepsis for our listeners that are not aware of it?
So sepsis is an infection of the blood that attacks all your vital organs. So for example, if you have a cut tooth or a cut leg, or you have bronchitis or pneumonia, and it gets infected, and sepsis kicks in, it will shut down all your vital organs and you die very, very quickly. And so it is if you go to sepsis.org and scroll down, there's a little graph that says time. And what that is, T is for temperature. You can be incredibly hot or incredibly cold. I is for infection in some place in your body. M is for mental decline. It starts, affecting their thought process. And E is for excruciating pain. You're in unbelievable pain because all your organs are shutting down. So if you think you have any of those symptoms, get to an emergency, get a blood test, tell them you think that you might be septic, and they will get you on an IV antibiotic, and you can get saved. But there is a certain time period that if you don't get it in time, your organs will shut down, and you won't survive. If you get it and survive, the chances of you getting it again are very likely. So you have to be very conscious of that.
Well, thank you for sharing that. I didn't know about that either. And, especially being a mom, you want to know about everything you can look out for, educate your kids on as well. All right. So before we let you go, because we are almost out of time, can you tell us your last words of encouragement for our listeners who want to be in your place or follow your footsteps?
I think just love what you're doing. Reach out to different photographers. Be willing to work for free or very little money, and just keep doing it, being consistent with your social media, and, keeping your makeup. Your makeup has to be, my makeup kit is I don't ever use it on myself. It is just for my clients. I keep it pristinely clean. My brushes are always cleaned and disinfected. All the makeup is clean and nice. Once it gets a little bit yucky, I just get rid of it. So, and enjoy it. Be happy, be positive, and if you're on a photo shoot, make sure that you're not sitting there on your phone. You've got to be attentive to the photographer that wants you to jump in and make sure that there's not a hair out of place, or that, that the eyeliner hasn't smudged. So it's really, really important.
Great. Now tell our listeners where can they find you? Where can they get more information about your makeup line? So if they do want to follow along and see the releases and all of that, they can.
Great. So you can go to ChristinaFlach.com to see my makeup artistry, and you can see segments from NBC on California Live and different videos that we do. PrettyGirlMakeup.com to see product. And then I'm Too Busy is up and launching very soon.
Very, very exciting. Well, we'll also link all of that below. But again, Christina, thank you so much for your time and your story and your inspiration to our listeners. I look forward to seeing everything else that you have coming. So thank you again, and I'll let you go. Have a great, great, great day.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye. It's such a pleasure.
Well, thank you for listening and your support. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. One last announcement. If you're in the LA area or if you know anybody in the LA area, I'm looking for more in-person guests for our podcast. I love the human interaction. Or if you know people if you heard of people, randomly message them, send them our link. I would love to interview people that you guys know and you guys want on the podcast. So feel free to share, help me find awesome guests for you. And until next time, bye. Thank you for listening. Please rate and review this podcast. Follow and engage with us on social media under the Yegi Project. And if you're interested in being a guest, email info@theyegiproject.com. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future episodes.